Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. So behind me we have the mighty SS up on jack stands. How ironic, since we just did a video explaining how good it's been for the last year. And it's on jack stands because I got home last night and just like a man with a bad prostate, just started leaking. Started leaking out of the bottom. I could smell some coolant. I noticed when I got home, I looked under this side, you actually see a little bit of a stain already where I've had the car running just before. There's a bit of coolant coming from under here. So I've had a good look at it, just off camera before. Had it running up until about 89 degrees. It didn't leak at all. And then I gave it a bit of revs, let it sit for a bit, and it started to leak out the bottom. So come to conclusion, after having a good look, that our radiator has cracked at the bottom. Looks like the bottom right, bottom driver's side. So we go down here. It's a bit hard to see. It's very hard to see on camera, but we'll have a look from the underneath actually. It'll be a lot easier. Okay, so coming under here, you can see this loom here is a bit wet, and you can see a bit of red coolant on the chassis rail. This is at the bottom right of the radiator. I've triple checked all the hoses. That seems to be good. This car's actually pretty dry underneath from everywhere else. Even coming back here, looking at the sump, it's all pretty good. And yeah, if you come to this corner here, this is where it started leaking in this corner. If you look from the top of that pinch weld on the front rad support, you actually see coolant on my finger. So I have to give this car credit because I drive it a lot. This last Easter weekend, we probably put over 1,000 kilometers on it. We did a road trip up into one of the country towns I grew up in. Drove it all weekend without an issue at all. And it just, yeah, didn't miss a beat. For the radiator to go, that's pretty normal. And who knows when this radiator was changed or if it's still original. At least it's a semi-easy fix, it's just a rad. What are we gonna do now? Luckily, one of my jobs is working at an automotive parts store. I work at one of the auto barns. We have car parts there, and I ordered one in literally 5 minutes ago. Ordered a, I think it's a Protex one. They were really cheap ones on eBay, but I didn't want to get an eBay one because I just don't trust them. So I just went with a brand that we always sell and we haven't really had issues with them. And that should be here in, I think, a day or two. So hopefully we can replace it. But in the meantime, we have some other things to attend to. So in the other video that we did, I did explain that we hit a Kangaroo. Well, when I say we hit a Kangaroo, my partner was driving, I was in the passenger seat, but we hit a Kangaroo at about 60, 70 Ks at the front. Didn't do too much damage, but I'll show you what it has done. Now, if you have a look, this fog light actually isn't an SS fog light. It's just some random one my mate Assad had lying around. So thanks for giving me that. I think it's out of a Ford, but it just sits in there. It does work, the light, but it's crap. Now, all in the bar here is all cracked. This is all buggered because the Kangaroo hit right here. These rear whistles, which absolutely fucking redundant. Actually, I don't know if that's still fur. No, it's not, but this whole front was covered in fur. I don't know if you can see marks here, these marks. It's buggered all this is all cracked. It broke the grille. So the grille here, can't really see it, but right there, it dented the bonnet because this was all his foot marks. He was a huge Kangaroo. I'll put a picture up of when we hit it, the Kangaroo line next to it. So when we hit the roof, so I was blind drunk because I had a friend's housewarming. So I was a bit pissed. So I was in the passenger seat and I was a bit out of it, but I just saw the Kangaroo sort of hopping on the left-hand side. Now this happened at, if you're familiar with the northern area, Mickleham Road. It's just a long straight road, pitch black, full of wildlife. And my missus doing about 70, just saw the roo last minute and hit the brakes. As he hit the brakes, this huge thing sort of flopped over the bonnet and then gone under the car, dragged under the car. As it's dragged under the car, obviously it's busted that fog light. Let's have a look at the fog light, wherever it is. So this is the genuine SS fog light. Gone, got obliterated. Now underneath, it did a bit of damage. So it ripped both fog light harnesses right out of each side. All this wiring was yanked downwards. It's split all the bar down here. This all split. See, it's fur still in there. Look at the freaking fur, it's still in there. So busted the bumper bar here, left fur all under the exhaust. It bent one of the exhaust brackets right down the back there. What happened was the rear went under, and then when we stopped, the car was actually beached on him and the rear wheels were in the air. So he was actually cooking on the exhaust. It was fucking horrifying. It was real bad. It was like, yeah, full cooking on the exhaust. It smelled like dinner. So for a really, really big Kangaroo, it didn't do as much damage as I thought. Now both of the ends of the bar popped out, so this was fully out on each side. I thought the car was completely written off. Yeah, exhaust brackets bent. There was blood and shit underneath. So rest in peace, Skippy. So what we're going to do now that we're waiting for the radiator to come in, another thing about working at an automotive parts store is I can get stuff like this. So I've got brand new fog lights and lenses to replace our battered ones. So if you actually have a look, so look at this angle, this fog light isn't even like the right one. It's like, so it's even just sitting in there because it doesn't bolt in. Now this is our actual genuine SS one. It's all really pitted and faded. If you get right close in there, it's really pitted and faded. So the thing about the genuine ones are they have SS printed on the lenses versus these aftermarket ones, which are just sort of a generic V6, V8 replacement. I was looking to get genuine ones. They were about 400 each, about 380 plus shipping. I didn't really want to spend 400 bucks on one fog light for the budget SS because who knows if it bloody happens again. Touch wood. I've opted to go with these brand new ones from work because I do get things, you know, a lot cheaper being a staff member. I got these for like, I think they're like $30, $40 each. I can't remember, but they were nothing. So we're going to replace them. It should make the front look a lot nicer. Another thing as well is I'll put the lights on. So we put the lights on, fog lights. Now when I have the lights on, for some reason with this random one, the globe barely illuminates. So at least we'll actually have the proper fog lights on the bottom, both working correctly. So yay! Now another thing I just replaced, which I really always wanted to because it was falling apart, is the factory key fob. Now this is my old one. It's in a million pieces because you got to break them apart. They're like glued together. It was pretty busted. It was pretty ugly. So we actually sell the replacement ones. So it's so much nicer. So look at that, unlock. It hasn't got the Holden emblem on the back like the original one, but oh, it's just so much nicer just to have brand new key fob. Little things like that really make a massive difference. So while we wait for the radiator to be replaced, let's replace these fog lights, get the car looking a bit nicer, get all the lighting and everything. I just put brand new H3 globes in this. These run a H3 style globe, so it's like a wedge style globe with an earth strap. This will plug in to our battered harness. I'll show you when we get underneath there how bad it is. So this plug on this side, this one survived. That one's okay, but if we go down to the driver's side, that one ripped the actual plug completely off. I could only stick the prongs in the wire there, so I really want to get a new plug for that side. The Kangaroo also ripped out the splash guard that's supposed to go in here, so it's not existing anymore. So it's actually easy access to get to our fog lights. So I'll get a light so we can have a look in here, because there's 3 studs with I think 10mm bolts on the back to get each fog light out. You can probably see them there. Oh, there's three nuts. And yeah, we'll pull these fog lights out and get our new ones in there looking schmick. All right, so now that we're under the car, easiest way to remove these fog lights is those 3 nuts I showed you before, which I've already removed. Unplugging it from the main harness behind here, and just give it a pop at the back. It's a bit finicky to get these out because they got the little adjuster screws in there. They do come out. There we go. If you got good paint, sometimes it's good just to put some masking tape around that bezel, and that should come out. There we go. You see how sandblasted my front bar is. I've got to really repaint it. I already took this side out because it wasn't even just bolted in, but you can see how busted the provision for the fog light is in here. Now the top 2 studs will screw in, the bottom no. So it's only going to be holding with the top for now. But when I do paint this bar, I'm going to repair as much as I can with some panel bond or whatever. Or get another bar. There's the old next to the new. So old, new, much better. That one's in. Oh yeah, much better than before. Let's put the other one in and hook them up and see how they go. All right, now it's all done. Let's have a look. Much better. So good actually having the proper fog lights recessed into the bar. Now I haven't actually checked, so I just literally screwed them in. So reversal of how we took them out before. Let's actually test if they work. So lights and fog lights. Are they on? I see, oh, we have, so we've still got an issue with this one not lighting up fully. Now I don't know if the Kangaroo did that, because for some reason, this is the one that actually didn't get damaged. This bit of the loom didn't get damaged at all. So I don't know if you can see on camera, that one's pretty bright, that one's not. Yeah, it's very strange. So I'm gonna look into that, see if there's any more damage behind the loom. All right, so a little bit of time has gone past and I've done a little bit of troubleshooting off camera, trying to just figure out what's going on, a bit of problem solving, and finally figured out why the bloody lights are doing the weird thing. So I swapped all the globes over, pulled the battery out, did the earth, cleaned the earth for the headlights, which is behind the battery under the fuse box, while I get the fuse box lid off. And the whole time, it was literally one of the fuses popped here. I went down to the auto parts store, took the 180 for a bit of a thrash, and I bought an assortment of these fuses. So hopefully replacing that. I think what's happened is maybe when the Kangaroos hit the car, or the cars hit the Kangaroo, when it's ripped the harness out, the two connectors have touched each other and it's shorted and popped the fuse. So hopefully putting that fuse in, we should have a complete circuit again and lights aren't going to freak out. So let's see. All right, I've just put our new fuse in there. So headlights are on and there's our fog lights. Let's have a look if they're both lighting up correctly. There's one, the other side. Yes, yes, they're beautiful. There we go. Okay, I was like fully expecting them not to work again. It was going to be something else, but okay. So we've got headlight on that side, fog light, headlight on that side and fog light. Now before I was freaking out when I put the high beams on, so let's see if the high beams do anything. I heard a tick. High beams on. They are. Look at that. It all works. Fantastic. I'm so glad. Like driving home at night on the highway, the lights were getting a bit dim, so it was a bit, how you going? So I'm glad we fixed that now. All right. So I'm going to put the car down, put it back in its spot, and we're going to wait till the radiator comes in and we're going to replace it. So in the meantime, I'm going to grab 2 hoses, so upper and lower hose, brand new ones, and I'll get some coolant. I do have some red coolant up the top there somewhere. So I'll get some more coolant and yeah, we'll come back when we start replacing the radiator and hopefully this car is good to go. All right guys, so it's a couple days later and we have the car all set up on stands again. Probably about 3 days later since the last clips. And I've got the tray underneath ready to go. I've got the crossover pipe from the throttle to the airbox off, so we can start pulling this radiator out. So over here I have some coolant. I've got another bottle inside. Takes about 10 litres from memory. I also got some radiator hoses. And over here, up against my tool chest, is the new rad. So this is a new radiator I got from work. It's a Protex brand. They seem to be pretty good. It was very reasonably priced. So yeah, this piece will replace this thing. This thing does seem pretty old looking at it. So I'm gonna pop the hoses off. The first thing I'm gonna do is pop the bottom hose off, drain it, and then top hose off all these other hoses. So this one will come off, this little one will come off. There's the overflow here. Take that off, pop the condenser forward, and then this should just slide out of its rubber mounts down there. It's got 2 at the bottom. And it should come out with the fans, and then we'll swap the fans over onto the new radiator and put it in and yeah, bleed it all up. Now I don't know from memory if these have a bleed screw on the thermostat housing. If they don't, then I think we just got to bleed it the old school way, which is pretty easy. Now I was going to do a VZ radiator, but it was a bit of a pain in the ass to get it to fit. So I'm just going to go with the standard SS replacement and we'll see how we go. And now the fun part, getting under the car and just undoing the bottom hose, trying to get that clamp off. Once we whack this hose off, it's going to drop all of its 10 litres of coolant, which is always fun. So I'm going to put the camera down and wrestle that off, and so we can drain this coolant. Hopefully it gets in the pan, but 10 litres of coolant, I don't think it's going to, I think we're going to probably get a little bit everywhere, so. It's coming off so slowly, so the anticipation always kills me. But it's almost there. Well, don't know if you guys got that because I knocked the camera over and it knocked the battery out of it. But we sort of missed, which is great. The rest is going into the pan now, but it's like travelled across. It's like dripping and then travelling across the bottom of the car and then dripping that way. So I have to find one of my other drain pans. Great. Water's all drained out now. Turn to protein bar now. I did pop this top hose off just quickly, and look at that neck. It's just busted. So this radiator is definitely old and crap. One thing that's really annoying, the previous owner has done coolant temp sensor on the SAS gauge inside. They've run the wire through this this loom here, so I've got to cut this out because this wire that runs to this plug is patched into this loom, which is you can unplug separate. So this is the loom for the fans. This whole fan unit with the radiator will come out as one piece, and we can swap them over onto the new radiator. But yeah, this radiator is a bit shit. So the hardest thing I'm trying to do is clear this air conditioning line here. Once I clear that AC line, I'm pretty much ready. There's one. So there we go. There's the old radiator out. Yeah, I think I can see our leak already. Sweet. The bottom there somewhere. It was a bit of a pain, but nothing crazy. So now that I have all this open now, I can replace these hoses and everything. It's kind of cool how this all stays the same. But these hoses feel pretty good still, but I'm just going to replace them anyway just to be safe. So there's like an elbow that comes out of the radiator that goes into like a little cooling block, and then that goes from that into the thermostat housing. So when it was in the car, it was leaking from this side. You can actually see it's a little bit stained down here. So I think down here, our radiator was a bit busted. Now I don't know if it was on the actual tank. I haven't let the car run long enough for it to leak. I feel like, yeah, down here somewhere. So it would only leak when it got like real hot. So I think it's obviously have a crack or something that's separating. I'm gonna put all these rubbers on the new radiator, and yeah, we should be good to go. I have no idea what these are. I think that's for the automatic transmission cooler. So this probably isn't original from this car, but I don't know if the other ones has provisions for that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't, because it's for a manual. So all right, so I've just done all those bottom hoses down there. So now we're gonna give it a go and slide the new rad in. Alright, I'm going to come back and do this properly because it's pissing me off. The biggest problem I'm having is this AC line coming around here, and this condenser is just in the way here. It's not giving me any freaking room. So I'm getting hung up on absolutely everything because of this condenser. And I can't go any further back because it's just this hard line here. So I'm going to have to just finesse it and then try and put the rubber on like at the end. So well, it was a pain in the ass, but I got it in. The radiator is in. The only thing I've got to do now is line up the condenser with those front clips, line up the fans down there, clip the fans in, plug it all back in, bottom hose on, and I think we are ready to rock and roll. Put the only fans back in. Once we miss everything, make sure that wiring doesn't get snagged, which it has. Out the way, fucker. Drop it down. Not a fan of these. So go up a bit. There we go. Just get the fans are wiped down too, a bit dirty. That's looking good. Is the condenser straight? Not really. Oh, that's in the clips too, so I think I'm just gonna push down that side. Oh, there we go. I pushed it down. Oh, it's straight now. Oh, I think I squished that. Whoopsies. So it's okay, it's just an SS. All right guys, so I've got the cooling system filled up right to the top there. Everything else is buttoned up. Looking underneath, just making sure there's no leaks. There's a leak there, but that was where we spilled it before, because we had a bit of a spillage off the side here. But just making sure nothing's leaking, you know, at the radiator hoses or anything. Turn it over, let it run for a bit, let it bleed itself, and we'll keep topping it up with our red coolant here. And then once we do that, we'll put the cap on, let it pressurize, get up the temperature, and yeah, just triple check everything, make sure everything's running perfect, and yeah, see how we go. Look at the foggies. How good does that look? So much better. So yeah, we'll let the water pump cycle everything through, and yeah. So when I looked it up on the system, it said it was about 10 litres for these. I think the V6s are like 7 or 8 litres, and these are about 10 litres. Could be wrong, the V6s I think might be more, but yeah, so I've got about like 9 litres in there at the moment. So we're gonna let it cycle through and bleed. And yeah, I can actually see the coolant burning off the headers that I spilt here. Probably can't see it on camera, but just making sure there's no leaks at the front here where we've changed everything. And once we actually put the cap on and pressurize the system, so the water has only dropped a little bit, we'll make sure everything's all good. Now this thing in traffic on the SAS gauge would tell me it gets up to about 95 to 100 degrees in traffic. I don't know how accurate it is, but also the factory gauge is still in the same spot, so hopefully we might even get it to run a little bit cooler than it used to. Never ever overheated once, but giving it a good thrash, like it never got over 100 degrees, so let's see how it goes. New radiator looks so much better. Sounds good. Let it gurp a little bit. We'll come back in a minute and we'll top her up and see how it goes. Alright, so been running for about nearly 10 minutes now. So far, not a drip, cap's on, got pressurizing. Let's check the temperature. So about 70 degrees now, so everything's pretty warm. Radiator's hot. Also want to make sure the fans come on too. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to go have lunch. I'm going to come back so that way it's depressurized. If there's any leaks, it'll find a way. And then when I come back, we'll do another heat cycle, top it up if we need to, and then take it for a drive, make sure it doesn't overheat or anything. So far, no leak on this side where it used to leak. Everything seems to be all good. Yeah. Alright, so I've just come back after lunch, about half an hour, 40 minutes later, and we're dry as a bone underneath. Pop the cap off. I'm gonna just do another cycle and let it bleed. Now I did have a look online, I went on the Commodore forums, because I was pretty certain that these things had a bleed nipple on the thermostat housing, but I think that's only the V6s. But apparently these things are just like a self-bleeding sort of system. It's probably better to have the actual bleed bottle at the top here, but I'm just gonna let it self-bleed while running. Now we've done a few heat cycles, we can actually let the cooling system bleed out any air bubbles so we don't have any air locks or any air pockets. And I'm gonna start the car now with the cap off, let it bleed a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna drop the car down as we're doing that. That way gravity can still do its thing because the car's just raked up in the air. And we'll take it for a drive, get up to proper operating temperature and see if the fans kick on, everything like that, make sure they're still all working good. Yeah. All right guys, so we're pretty much just gonna take it for a bit of a bust, let it get up to temperature. And then we're gonna just check to make sure there's no leaks, as well as that it doesn't overheat. We've got no air locks. It's almost at 90 degrees now. We wanna make sure fans and everything come on properly. And then obviously the biggest thing is no leaks as well, because that's why we had to change the radiator. So yeah, 10-minute drive, and we'll take it back. It's just sitting below 90 now, so I think it's actually running pretty much exactly how it was. So the water pump do its thing, and let it cool off again. I might run it without the cap and yeah, just keep going until it's perfect. So, but for now it seems pretty good, but touch wood, don't want to jinx it. Now I hear fans, that's a good thing. Fans are on, nice and warm. Check under here, looks like we have 2 leaks, but that might be from the 180. Yeah, no, that's from the 180. And that one too, I'm pretty sure. What's the temperature at? Oh, it's gone back to 90. I don't know if you guys can see. Beautiful. We did climb a hill just then, so it was about 92. Yeah, fans just kicked off now. So I'm gonna shut it off. Sorry it's a bit dark in here, guys. Shut it off. The only way it leaked last time was when it shut off and it started dripping. I won't be surprised if we have a couple of drips after driving, just because we had a bit that we spilt on the overflow bottle. If we have a look, okay, so that's an old, okay, they're definitely old leaks. I think that's from the 180, but nothing new. That's good. I'll let it sit for a little bit. Hopefully we are fixed, but I still want to do one more round of bleeding just to make sure. And yeah, let's have a look at them. Let's have a look at the old girl. You guys haven't seen it for a while. So there you go. In a year of owning it, I've had the alternator go on it, tail shafts come loose, and now radiator gone. So that's not too bad, honestly. I've had a lot worse. Now it's got a new cooling system, so we're ready to go. I haven't driven it for a week, which sucks because I'm daily driving it. So I've been driving the Hyundai, which I haven't driven in over a month and a half. The Hyundai, I've been driving the SS or the Patrol. So I've missed actually driving this. I missed the power, I missed the sound, the comfort, the cruise control. But it sounds like I'm getting old. All right, guys, we'll come back. I'll switch the car around, put it back, and double check over everything, triple check, and we hopefully should be all good. Woo! All right, guys, a bit of time has gone past, and where we parked over here didn't leak anything, so I let it cool down, just re-bled it once again, just made sure we didn't have to top anything up. I've still got almost a litre of red coolant over there, so got some spare top up if we need, but yeah, she's all good. New fog lights looking nice and sexy, very good. Really makes the front of this car look so much better than before. So yeah, I think the next thing we really need to do is take this front bar off, paint it, paint the rear wing, make it all nice, one color again, just not freaking so sandblasted at the front. And then I reckon we'll start actually doing some proper things to it. I still want to do extractors, cam, liven her up a little bit. It's been such a fun daily, it's been such a good daily. I really love it, I really enjoy it. And you know, radiator popping, that's fine. That's, you know, look how old the freaking radiator is. So it was in this corner at the bottom here, it's gone. So yeah, that radiator was definitely due for replacement. Well guys, my camera literally just died when I was about to film the outro. So I'm gonna use the phone, and I wanna thank you guys for hanging around and watching and fixing the Mighty SS. It's been good to put it back on the road and get the radiator fixed, because we don't want our cars pissing out coolant. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care everyone.